Okay, here we go again a little bit. This heating system, I'm still working on that, or working on it again. I'm going to have to make a couple of adjustments to it. Um, not not this portion so much. Everything's working fine there. Um, but I was using it for I've been using it for about a week, and the blower motors in that unit up there packed it in. See, it seized up. So I've had a couple of one issue. I guess I'll start at the beginning. When I built this, I have a video on when I built that unit a couple of years ago. I put a 36,000 BTU heat exchanger on one side on this side, on the left side, and 24,000 BTU on the other side. The 36,000 feeds the front half of the bus, zone 1, and the 24,000 feeds the back half of the bus, which is zone 2. The issue I've been having is the smaller heater has a smaller fan on it as well. So it's, that's a long ways to push the air. It's having a hard time getting it all the way to the back end of the bus. I did put solid ducting back there rather than the flexible back in the engine bay. That was in a couple of videos ago. So, but because this, I had so anyways, this this 36,000 BTU one, the one for zone 1, the blower motor seized up. Things, brand new, but apparently brand new junk. So anyways, probably built on a Friday. So anyhow, what I did is I went and there are motors available for them, so I ordered a motor, but I am I bought another heater. So what I'm going to do is pull the 24,000 BTU heater out of there and put two 36,000 BTU ones in, both of them the same size, and hopefully the fan will be able to push more air to the back of the bus. Now the other issue that I've had, and I assumed the problem was that the ProHeat only had one pump on it, and it was pumping water through both heaters in a daisy chain, and I thought that it didn't have enough capacity to push the water fast enough through there. So I was only getting about 50% of my the capacity of the ProHeat. I was only getting it was running about half the time. So it should, in theory, it should these heaters should be able to pull more BTU out of the water than the ProHeat can put into it, in theory. But it was only doing about 50% of that. So that's what I thought the problem was. Now that I've got it all separated, zone pumps, all the rest of it, it's still doing the same thing. So my next theory or thought is that those heaters just aren't producing what they say they do. So what I'm going to do is put the other, like I say, put the other heater in there, and then that should bring it up some. And the small heater that's in there, smaller, I'm going to put into this second bay back here. Well, you can't see it here, but anyways, where the batteries and the solar controller and everything else are, I'm going to put it into there, and I'll heat that bay as well as have it blowing up into under the kitchen cabinets, and then that between them, that should get me, I mean, with the electric heating element in there, there's about 22,000 BTU of the electric plus 50,000 in that in the diesel heater, Yeah, it's 70 some thousand BTU. That's way more than what this bus should need, even when it's you know, down below zero. Um, and I mean 0 Fahrenheit. That's like last winter it was minus 26 uh, Fahrenheit. No, sorry, minus 26 Celsius, which was 4 or 5, 6 below zero, something like that Fahrenheit. Anyways, there should be plenty of heat to keep it warm, uh, even when it gets down that cold. But I got to get more out of that unit, so I'm going to try upping those two heaters to make them both the same size, plus put another one in that bay, which I was going to do anyways. I was just going to do it a little differently. So anyways, I'll get that out of there. It's pretty tight in there to try and video, so I won't bother. I'll just I'm going to drain the system right now and pull that thing out of it, and then I'll video some more when I've got it on the bench down in the shop. All right, so I got this thing out on the bench. Got the top off of it. I used silicone to to glue the top on. You know, and then I screwed it on. That silicone was stronger than the plywood. That's my top. Obviously I'm gonna have to make a new one. These 1/2 inch plywood, and most of it it left the last ply of the wood. When I peeled it off of there, the silicone stayed, and the glue, whatever the glue they use on the plywood, that separated. So now I got to get that all off of there. Anyways, there's the fan motor that's pooched, seized up solid. And this is the other smaller heater in here that I'm going to replace with that one. So then it'll have two that are the same size. So anyways, keep working on this thing. All right, here's a little bit farther along in this redo of this heater box. I realized as I was taking it apart that I had a crappy design because I could not pull the heater motors out without disassembling the whole thing. So I had to take everything out of it to get a heater motor out, and that's no good. So I'm going to attempt to rebuild it somehow so that I can. What I'm thinking about doing is angling these in, so that what I got to be able to do is get at these screws and these ones here on the motor to be able to change a motor out. So you know, that's really the only moving part in the thing. So I should be able to, I need to be able to get at those to be able to you know, to service it. So I'm gonna have to try and I think I'm gonna try and angle them in there. We'll see how that works. I'll show you that in a few minutes if it works. Okay, here's what I come up with for mounting these things. Mounting them at a 30-degree angle. That's what framework I built inside just before I dropped the heaters in. I'll take some more video after I've got them in there. Alright, so I got it all assembled here, pretty much. Just have to put the tops on. I'm just letting this, it's using silicone as a gasket for the covers, and I'm just going to let that skin up for, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. So just so it's not really aggressive, and then maybe I won't have to destroy the lid when I if I ever have to take it off again. There's the old lid, all broken. So that silicone works really well for an adhesive, but you don't want to try and take it apart. Well, anyways, that's where it's at for now. getting late in the day. I don't think I'm going to be able to install it today, so I'll install it tomorrow. Supposed to be a big dump of snow as well, so that'll be fun, but it's just getting too dark out there to try and install it today, so that's the way it should be. But I should be able to, because these are at an angle now, I should be able to get at all the screws to you know, to change the motor if I have to. So hopefully I don't have to take it apart like that again. More later. Okay, well, here we are another day. We got our dump of snow last night. Not as much as what they were expecting. Maybe more's coming, I don't know. But I'd say we got somewhere between 3 and 4 inches last night. We were supposed to get between 5 and 7, so that's okay. It's above freezing, so this stuff's is melting and going to get all sloppy here, but at least it's better for working outside here in the. And I got the whole got that pot liquor in there. Just have to hook it all up. Those plenums are just sitting there. I just have to screw them down yet, wire it, hook up the hoses, and then fill it. And I had some few questions on how I was filling it on the last video, so I guess I'll video the filling process and getting it fired up here when I get to that point, so hang on for that. Okay, so I got the heater system from hell all installed in there. Have to do something with those wires yet, glue them all together or something, but for now I'll just test it and make sure everything's working. I'm just getting ready to fill the system. I guess I forgot to video that last time, and people were asking, had a few people asking how that worked, so I thought I'd video it this time. So the top, this surge tank, it's aluminum surge tank I have here, that runs to the top of the tank there, and so that's the vent, and I'm filling it with this, my third zone pump, which I haven't installed the third zone yet, so I'm just using that pump. Just pump this antifreeze into the system through that that ball valve there, and when it basically fills that tank to the top and starts to fill, you know, there's antifreeze in this surge tank, then it's full. So what I'll do is I'll fill it, and then I'll turn the pumps on and run coolant through the pumps and the heater system, and that'll drop the level some, and then I'll top it up. Just turn the pump back on and pump more antifreeze in it until that's full. That'll be the process. So I'll take a little. I don't really have anywhere to set my camera up to just video the whole thing, so I'll just kind of do little segments and hopefully it all makes sense to you guys. Okay, I got 5 gallons of coolant in there. The tank is full. There's that tank is about a little quarter full, something like that. I haven't turned the pumps on yet. Just turned the electric element on. I don't know if you can hear it running there or not, but it's heating the water in the tank. What I wanted to do is get some heat in there, and then I'll turn it on, and I'll check these hoses for heat and make sure that it's you know, that the pumps have primed okay. And then yeah, then I'll check inside the heat exchangers in there, make sure there's no leaks in there, and then I'll turn the diesel the diesel burner on. Alright, it's all up and running. Had a little trouble with this this pump, getting it to prime for some reason. Not really sure why. It's working now, but this one here primed no problem at all, but this one had to fart around with it a little bit. And the water level is, you know, up in here somewhere, so it should have just primed no problem, but it didn't. Anyway, it's working now, so that's good. I'm just going to go and monitor it. Dad's bringing me a gallon of antifreeze, which I'll mix and I'll pump. You know, since those heat exchangers and everything are all working now, the level would have gone down, so I'll top that up. Yeah, there's still a little bit of liquid in here, but I don't know if it's anyways, I'm gonna put antifreeze in until it comes out the top. And just in time too. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's snowing like a son of a bitch. So time to go inside for a little bit and warm up. It's about minus 2, I think. So not a whole lot of fun working outside. Okay, the system's all working properly. It has been running for a couple hours. No problems, no leaks. Hopefully that continues. I got that tank is now completely full of coolant. I just pumped another gallon of antifreeze in through this other line that I filled the system with initially. Let it run for an hour and a half or so, just to let all the air work its way out of the system, and then pumped a gallon of it was a gallon, so I pumped a gallon of coolant in through there. Well, I guess it wasn't actually a gallon low, because you know, this, whatever that size that is, quart and a half or something like that, went into the tank, but the rest of it went into the into the main system. So yeah. So the only other thing I should probably go over is how I wired the zones. So hang on a second. All right, let me see if I can explain this in a way that makes sense. The thermostat, which has a control box in each air conditioner, for the furnace has a set of contact points. So, and when the temperature gets to drops to whatever that you've got it set at, then the contacts close, and these wires, these blue wires, one's from one zone. These ones are from the bedroom zone. These ones here are from the living room, or the front area zone, zone 1. The contacts close. So then it sends power to these relays and closes the relays. And the relays then send full power, whatever's required, to the blower fans and to the pumps, and they also send a signal to this wire, which is for the diesel furnace. That turns the diesel burner on. And so what you want to have is, for each zone, let me see if I can explain this properly. You have a control for each zone. Each of these turns on a fan and a pump, but they both individually have to turn the diesel heater on. So what I did here is I wired I don't know if you can see it in there, all this crap out of the way. I wired a diode into each one. So this wire here is the power from each zone, and this wire here goes out to the diesel furnace, which is fired up. So these diodes, they only allow power to go in one direction. So if you didn't have that in there, it wouldn't matter which zone you selected, it would fire or activate both relays. Hope that makes sense. So that's what the diodes do. They keep the power travels in this direction, comes from here, goes into here, but it can't go to this one, which would trigger that relay. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, and as I add zones, I'll add another relay and another diode to the diesel heater. The electric doesn't matter. It's on its own. Thermostat, so it just keeps the water hot and everything kicks on and off as it needs to. The diesel furnace or the diesel heater, because that pump is running, I didn't want to have it running all the time. I only want to have it running when it's necessary. So that's why it just turns the whole unit on and off as it's needed. Now I'll go up inside and kind of explain the thermostat for, yeah, hang on a second. Okay, so I'm using the Dometic climate control, I can't remember, CCC2 anyway, is the system. It'll do 4 zones. I only have 3 right now. Zone 1 is the front. That's not focusing very good, is it? And zone 3 is the bedroom, and that's yeah, so it's zone 3. Now it will do a zone 4, but I don't have that programmed in here, or I don't have it installed right now. That's going to go down into the bays to heat the bay, and so the system comes with, well, it doesn't come with, you have to buy it all separate, but this unit, which is the the control unit, and then there's a control box that goes into each of the air conditioners, and so yeah, so there's one in each of the air conditioners. Now I'm going to put one down in the bay, in the lower bay. It won't be connected to an air conditioner, but it'll run just like another zone for the furnace. And then there's these remote temperature probes. There's one here. There's one in the control, in the thermostat here, and then there's another one in the bedroom, and so that's how it senses the temperature from the different zones. So yeah, and it's all, this is controlled. There's all it does is you daisy chain. There's dip switch settings in the upper unit up there in each one, and you designate what zone it is and all that kind of stuff. And then there's just like a telephone cable that kind of daisy chains between everything and ends up plugging into here last, and then it just controls it all. So it actually works really well. And if none of this makes sense, or if anybody has any questions, just leave me a comment, and I'll try and explain whatever I can a little better if some of this doesn't make any sense. Okay, we'll see you next time.